The blueprint was a joke, but you called it a vision. You danced with the fire, then complained about the friction. We stood on the shoreline, shouting through the gale, while you built your cathedral on a rusted out nail. You called us the pessimists, the ghosts in your ear, but the silence you're hearing now, that's the sound of the fear. You played the hand like it was a winning streak. You lowered the cracks every time the floor would creak. You took the shortcut through the swamp and the salt. Now you're drowning in the water and it's all your fucking fault. Don't come crawling back with your pockets full of sand, looking for a shoulder or a helping hand. We didn't place a bet on the way you let it blow, but look at the wreckage, we fucking told you so. Yeah, look at the skyline, watch the embers glow, we fucking told you so. Was the view from the summit worth the bridge that you burned? Or were you just surprised that the tables finally turned? You treated the warning like a suggestion in ink, while you steered the whole ship to the edge of the brink. It's a calculated risk, that's the lie that you sold, but the math was a fiction and the truth was too bold. You played the hand like it was a winning streak. You lowered the cracks every time the floor would creak. You bought the ticket, you took the ride, now there ain't a single place left for your ego to hide. Don't come crawling back with your pockets full of sand, looking for a shoulder or a helping hand. We didn't place a bet on the way you let it blow, but look at the wreckage, we fucking told you so. Yeah, look at the skyline, watch the embers glow, we fucking told you so. It's a funny thing, the way the air tastes when you're wrong. The silence is heavy, the failure is long. We aren't celebrating, we are dancing in the street, but there's a certain kind of rhythm in a total defeat. A certain kind of breathing in the rhythm and the taste of a defeat. Keep the apology, keep the I should've listened. The ruins of the empire you thought you were built at 12, but we're too busy watching the show. You fucking told me so.
I'm eating dinner with a ghost in a rented suite. The air tastes like ozone and burnt copper sheet. And you're asking me why I'm not surprised at the crash, why I'm just sitting here watching the skyline turn ash. You say, how could you know the exact day the grid would fold? Baby, I didn't know, I just read the script for where was sold. I didn't need a crystal ball or a psychic's trembling hand. I just watched the way the vulture circled the promised land. I saw the math and the margins, the glitch and the corporate grin, and I placed my bets before the fucking game began.
Laughed in a flap like
What the fuck needed to know swingers?
Yeah, I already predicted what happened in 27. A digital hell masquerading as a synthetic heaven. We traded our shadows for a bit of high-speed glow, and now we're just ghosts with nowhere left to go. Yeah, the crash wasn't a glitch, it was a fucking design, and I'm the only motherfucker who read between the line. Remember the update? The one that promised we'd feel more. Now we can't even open the goddamn front door without a subscription to breathe or a license to weep, while the algorithms harvest the secrets we keep. You call it a tragedy, a black swan, a sudden descent, but I saw the blueprints, I knew where the signal went. We built a cathedral of glass and called it the peak, then acted surprised when the foundation started to leak. It wasn't a bang, it wasn't a flash, it was a slow, steady leak, a calculated crash. Meeting is rack, a handshake in the dark, a finger on the trigger, waiting for the spark. Yeah, I already predicted what happened in 27. A digital hell masquerading as a synthetic heaven. We sold our souls for a screen and a simulated breeze. Now we're begging for mercy on our holographic knees. Yeah, the crash wasn't a glitch, it was a fucking design, and I'm the only motherfucker who read between the lines. Pass me the bottle, pass me the light. It's a beautiful evening, for the end of the night.
He walks in like he owns the dirt he's standing on, with a smile like a razor and a heart like a pawn. He's got a suitcase full of pamphlets on the right way to live, and a grudge against the world that he's dying to give. He don't shake your hand, he just studies your wrist, calculating the distance to a slap or a fist. He's a walking contradiction in a pressed linen suit, planting seeds of hatred, then he's watering the root. Oh, Ruckus is coming with the gospel of hate, closing every window, locking every gate. He's the ghost in the garden, the salt in the wound, singing songs of the fall while the choir's out of tune. He's a traitor to the blood, a scholar of the lie, looking at the sunrise just to tell it not to try. is a mental defect. That the change in your mind are the only thing to expect. He's got a blueprint for a world where he's the only one left. Of the dignity of brothers, he's a master of theft. He says,
Why are you fighting for a piece of the pie?
Wonder Baker is a demon and the oven is a lie. Quote a book he ain't read just to make you feel small. Then he'll lean against the ruins just to watch the thing fall.
He's a murder monster, he's a shadow of the fear. He's the whisper in the alley that you don't want to hear. He's the yes sir, no sir, to a man who wants him dead while he's sowing seeds of chaos in the young boy's head. He ain't looking for a receipt, he ain't looking for a crumb. He just wants to be the drum that makes the neighborhood numb.
And a scarf, telling every hopeful soul to just turn the fuck off. He's a walking paradox, a glitch in design, drinking vintage hatred like a fine bottle of wine. And he'll look you in the eye with that grin so cold and tell you that the truth is something bought in the soul. He's the king of the ruins, the lord of the scrap, setting every bridge on fire just to map out the gap. Yeah, still there.
Sitting on the fence, counting the failures, making perfect sense.
The pilot light is flickering, get her in a room where the wallpaper's feeling like a scab and bloom. With just two ghosts in a brand new zip code, loading up the static, waiting for the fuse to explode. You got that look that everything starts to stare while the smell of cheap carpet and desperation hangs in the air. Season 1, Episode 1. The credits haven't rolled, but the damage is done. We're the lead-ins to a tragedy. The setup for the fall, writing out the blueprints on the crumbling drywall. Just a prologue in denim, just a spark in the rain before the plot twist turned the pleasure into pain.
Fuck the script, let's just win the dialogue.
While we chased our own tails to a citywide fog, now we're drinking warm beer from a plastic cup, waiting for the catalyst to wake the fuck up. And I can see the camera angle, the slow motion drift of a friendship shifting into something different. It's the awkward silence before the first big fight, the kind of tension that keeps you awake all night. We're establishing shots, we're world building lies. I can see the series finally reflected in your eyes, and God, it's so naive, thinking we got the lead when we just the fodder that the narrative needs. Season 1, Episode 1. The credits haven't rolled, but the damage is done. We're the lead-ins to a tragedy, the setup for the fall. Writing out the blueprints on a crumbling drywall. Just a prologue in denim, just a spark in the rain before the plot twist turned the pleasure into pain. Episode 1, End Scene. Paper plate loaded down, beef jerky king in the middle of a border town. Found my flavor, found my piece. I just want a little slice, no permission ask. Hand on the door, foot on the dash. Ice in the cooler, let it go, watch it go. Chubby boy roll, he move his own way. Chubby boy roll, he find his own day. Yeah, he rolling, yeah, he rolling. Better watch him slide, rolling like the tide. Ooh, big dreams spinning round. Ooh, 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 keeping wheels on the ground. Chubby boy roll, he find his own day. Yeah, he rolling, yeah, he rolling. Better watch him slide, rolling like the tide. Ooh, big dreams spinning round. Ooh, 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 keeping wheels on the ground. Bread on the dashboard, butter in the back. He keep me so he fed, moving steady, moving fast, living larger than the rest. Chubby boy roll, he move his own way. Chubby boy roll, he find his own day. Yeah, he rolling, yeah, he rolling. Better watch him slide, rolling like the tide.
The neighbor's got a kid who screams like a siren, and the drywall spin is a fucking prayer. I'm sitting in the globe of a backlit vacuum, counting the cracks in the plaster upstairs. The remote is a weapon, the screen is a ghost, the news is just noise that I hate the most. So it's not the bar, down to a whisper, a hum, until the silence starts beating like a goddamn drum. And I keep the volume low at 3, just enough to know that I'm still here. Keep it on a simmer, keep it on a leash, so the ghosts on the hallway can hear me clear. If I crank it to 10, the facade might break, and the silence could scream for the space that I take. Yeah, I keep it at 3, just a flicker, a blur, where the static is soft and the memories slur. You left the keys on the counter, you left the bed cold. Now I'm watching a rerun of a story already told. When some sitcom laugh track hand in hollow, a blueprint for a happiness I can't fucking follow. If I turn it up loud, I might hear the door, or the sound of your footsteps and I hitting the floor. But the air is too heavy, the room is too wide, so I tuck all the wreckage deep inside. Volume 1 is a heartbeat, volume 2 is a threat, but volume 3, that's the sweet spot. That's what are ringing in my ears meets the sound of the TV. And for a second, I can almost pretend you're just in the other room. Fucking pretending is a hell of a drug. So I keep the volume low at 3, just enough to know that I'm still here. Keep it on a simmer, keep it on a leash, so the ghosts in the hallway can hear me clear. If I crank it to 10, the facade might break and the silence could scream for the space that I take. Yeah, keep it at 3, just a flicker, a blur, where the static is soft and the memories slur. 3, just a hum in the dark. 3, keep the neighbors from knowing we're dead. Keep it low, don't wake the fucking dead. You're staring at the screen with that squint in your eye, looking for the logic, looking for the why. You took a 10-second clip and you built a whole church, a digital crusade, a conceptual search. Now you're tagging the hashtags, you're calling the press, claiming my lifestyle is a goddamn mess. You got a PowerPoint slide on my lack of restraint, while you're painting my portrait with a bucket of paint. It was the fucking joke. It was the fucking joke. It was the fucking joke. Was the fucking joke. A slip of the tongue, a glitch in the smoke. I wasn't preaching a gospel of grease and rolls. I wasn't handing out keys to your vegan souls. You're analyzing rhythms of a punchline dead, while you're building a monument inside of your head. It was a fucking joke. Yeah, a goddamn joke. It was the fucking joke. It was the fucking joke. The forums are buzzing, the discourse is peak. Is he mocking the soft? Is the irony weak? You got a 3-hour thread on the semiotics of fat, when I'm just sitting here wondering where the fuck it's at. I said it once for a laugh in a basement in May, and now I'm the figurehead of a new buffet. You carried out a persona, you mapped out my skin, but you forgot that the joke is where the boredom begins. You want a manifesto, you want a deep dive into the soul of the role. You want me to apologize for the way that I fold. You want a manifesto, you want a deep dive into the soul of the role. You want me to apologize for the way that I fold.
So if you're like that feed bro, let me fish to it. Is that really violent? I want to be friends. Who wants to love up bro? I was just meant. It's my name, until you can claim by a symbol. It feels like it's better.
I'm not a symbol, I'm not a trend. I'm just a prick who forgot where the punchline would end. Not a symbol, I'm not a trend. I'm just a prick who forgot where the punchline would end. Not a symbol, I'm not a trend. I'm just a prick who forgot where the punchline would end. Not a symbol, I'm not a trend. I'm just a prick who forgot where the punchline would end. It was a fucking fucking joke. A slip of the tongue, a glitch in the smoke. I wasn't preaching a gospel of grease and rolls. I wasn't handing out keys to your vacant souls. You're analyzing rhythms of a punchline dead while you're building a monument inside of your head. It was a fucking joke.
Seriously, who the fuck is actually listening to this?
A is for the arsehole in the front row of the show. B is for the bastard who won't let the rhythm flow. C is for the cunt, yeah, the one with the gold-plated smile. D is for the damn it all. We've been walking for a mile. E is for the eat shit and I slowly kind of grace. F is for the fuck up staring right into my face. G is for the goddamn ghost of a love I used to know. H is for the hellhole with the stunning lilies grow. It's an alphabet of anger, a dictionary of dread. The kind of dirty language that gets you punched in the head. We're spelling out the records, we're reciting every sin. Open up the glossary, let the fucking chaos in. For the idiots who think they got the key. J is for the gist thing, sheets of a failed dynasty. K is for the no end leading on the velvet wall. L is for the low life, waiting for the house to fall. M is for the motherfucker who stole my only light. N is for the no name, hiding in the dead of night. O is for the oh shit, the moment that the brakes give way. P is for the piss for excuse for a sunny day. Q is for the quiet right before the bomb goes off. R is for the rubbish and the way the rich men cough. S is for the shit show, the circus in the street. T is for the twat who thinks he's finally beat. U is for the unspeakable, the things we can undo. V is for the vile and the filth that's sticking to you. W is for the winker with a crown made out of glass. X is for the X-rated toss take off your fucking mask. E is for the yearning for a word that isn't me. Z is for the zero, the void in the machine. You and me. Now go back to school. The lesson is over.
Hold the baby, no. Not that way, the other way, the way where he stops screaming.
The ink is made of powdered bone and a little bit of bile. The nursery is smelling like a funeral in style. We feed the kids the sugar-coated version of the rot, while the ghost of royal bastards tie a noose in a knot. It starts with a jump, a jingle, a little silver bell that we drag the little toddlers through a curated hell. Ooh, the rhymes are just the rappers on a very ugly gift. A lullaby to keep you sleeping while the tectonic plates shift. It's a plague, it's a gallows, it's a tax on the poor. It's the sound of the wolf scratching out at the door. Sing it loud, sing it sweet, keep the history lean, because the blood in the garden is the only thing green. Humpty wasn't an egg, he was a wall in a war. Like I do tumble when the cannons began to roar. Remembers little lamb, he was a skin trade prize. While the plague cards rolled by under charcoal skies, we're singing about bringing rosies and sneezing and falling, while the pits of the mass graves are beckoning and calling. And don't get me started on the old Mother Hubbard who stared at the cupboard and found it was gutted. She didn't lack flour, she lacked a fucking soul when she sold all the children to fill up the hole. It's a cycle of hunger, it's a dance of the dead, it's the weight of the crown pressing down on your head. Now the kids in the classroom are humming the tune, while the moon turns a shade of a bruised, bloated prune. They think it's a game, they think it's a whim, but the water in the well is getting colder and slim. It's a code for the broken, a map for the blind, a way to keep the terror in the back of the mind. Rockabye, baby, the bough was a lie. The branches already starting to die. Sleep now, little shit. Don't make a sound before they bury your secrets deep in the ground.
Now, who wants to hear London Bridge?
The night light is a dying star in a plastic shell. In the hallway is a canyon where the shadows dwell. You're 6 years old and shaking, clutching linen to your chin, while the monster in the closet lets the midnight hunger in. But then the door creaks open and the light spills on the floor, and you don't have to fight the dark alone anymore. Under the dark alone anymore. Under the dark alone anymore. It's a curated lie to keep the panic at bay. Sugar-coated map to get you through to the day. We weave the silk, we build the wall, we paint the velvet screen to hide the jagged edges of the things we've actually seen. And for the acts, just a little bit of fiction, a gentle humming art to stitch together pieces of a breaking little heart. You know, a breaking little heart.
now where the pages are yellow. The ink is turning gray. The nostalgia of the kingdom started fading away. You realize the wolf didn't lose to the boy, and the happily ever after was a goddamn toy. Designed to keep you quiet, to keep your questions small, while the real world was waiting to dismantle it all. Then you hit 13 and you realize the truth, that the stories were a bandage for the bleeding of your youth. Because daddy was a ghost before the book even closed, and mommy was a wreckage that the story never exposed. So you burned the fucking fairy tales, you ripped the spines in two, because the stories weren't for them, they were a sedative for you. Now you're 34 and staring at a crib in the dark, and you feel the old anxiety, that familiar little spark. You look at that small face, so trusting and so blind, and you realize the legacy you're leaving behind. You can tell them that the world is just a garden of grace, or you can tell them that the void is a cold, lonely place. But the fire is a joke.
Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Close your eyes. Dream the lie.
The salt didn't sting, it just tasted like cream. A heavy white velvet, a favoury dream. We sailed out of harbor on a hull made of bone, to a place where the silence is a frequency tone. You were wearing that dress, the one ripped at the seam, and the horizon was blurring like a low-budget scheme. We weren't looking for land, we were looking for a leak in the hull of the heavens where the architecture's weak. And the water didn't ripple, it just folded in pleats, like a linen sheet covering the ghost of the streets. You looked at me then with that look in your eye that says, fuck them now, let's just watch the sun die. And we're drowning in a milk ocean, thick as a sin, where the surface ends and the marrow begins. No blue in the distance, just a pale blinding white, sucking all the color out of the neon light. Yeah, we're swimming in the calcium, drifting in the wave, waiting for the current to wash the world away. Just a drop of ink in a sea of cream, waking up screaming from a wide awake dream. When you're repping that, boy, hard that I say. When you're rapping that, boy, hard that I say. When you're rapping that, boy, hard that I say. When you're rapping that, boy, hard that I say. The fish here are eyeless, they glide through the fat like translucent ribbons, imagining where it's at. You leaned over the railing, you spat in the foam, said this is the only place that ever felt like home. Then you stripped off the lace, left it floating like oil, while the water started humming a slow, rhythmic boil. It's a viscous kind of heaven, a heavy-handed grace, and the smell of warm vanilla is erasing your face. Dig a hole in the white, find the blackness underneath. The ocean is a mouth, and we're just the fucking teeth. It doesn't ebb, it doesn't flow, it just clings to the skin like a wet, white shroud where the ending begins. And I can't feel my fingers, and I can't feel the wind, just the weight of the cream where the boundaries thin. When you're rapping that, boy, hard that I say. We know the wide awake dream. When you're rapping that, boy, hard that I say. When you're rapping that, boy, hard that I say. When you're rapping that, boy, hard that I say. When you're rapping that, boy, hard that I say. Wide on wide until the vision goes blind. Leave the shore behind, leave the blood behind. Just swim, just sink, just sink. God, it's so thick I can't even blink. The neighbors are staring at the charcoal smudge where the gazebo used to be. I'm standing here holding a lit Roman candle in a look of sheer vacancy. The insurance agent is chewing his nails. The fire chief's asking for names, and I'm just humming a tune from the 80s while the curtains are dancing in flames. King it. Now, Don't look at me with those accusing eyes of a victim of chaos or servant of lies. I was just trying to see if the wire would spark and we're staring at ruins in me in the middle of the dark. Did I do that? Did I kick the ladder while you were on the roof? Did I do that? Am I the smoking gun, the living goddamn proof? It's a beautiful mess, a choreographed crash, turning a mid-century dream into a mountain of ash. Yeah, I'm standing in wreckage, looking slightly flat, and I'm asking the universe, did I do that? No, the liquor is gone and the guests are all gone except for the cop in the yard. He says, sir, you've breached every city ordinance, and he's breathing heavy and hard. I've got a taste for the friction, a love for the slip, my kind of disaster that gives you a grip on the fact that we're fragile, we're broken, we're thin, just waiting for someone to let the chaos in. Just waiting for someone to let the chaos in. And then I remember that one scene, you know, the one where the family is putting on a show, the one where the mishaps just keep on piling high, and you look at the camera with the blink of an eye and you say, did I do that? Yeah, you fucking did. I do that. Did I do that? Did I kick the ladder while you were on the roof? Did I do that? Am I the smoking gun, the living goddamn proof? It's a beautiful mess, a choreographed crash, turning a mid-century dream into a mountain of ash. Yeah, I'm standing in wreckage, looking slightly flat, and I'm asking the universe, did I do that? But the party was great. Who cares about the rubble? It was fate. Just a little bit of friction. Just a little bit of, yeah, you fucking did I do that? Did I do that? The studio was found on echoes on a cheap gin. The engineer is shaking, wondering where to begin. He's got a reel to reel spinning, a pitch shift on the dial of a 3-foot rodent with a predatory smile. He isn't thinking about sunshine or a trip to the zoo. He's screaming about the things that he'd like to do to you. He's got a high-frequency hunger, a chip in his soul, and a tiny little hand taking total control. Pitch it up, rip the throat, make the eardrums bleed. A manic little monster with a gluttonous greed. He's not a cartoon, he's a glitch in the vein. A high-pitched fever, a chemical rain. Alvin's in the basement and he's locking the door. And he don't want the nuts, he wants fucking more. He's got the voices of brothers, a choir of the damned. The harmonies are jagged, the circuitry jammed. Simon's on a synth, eyes wide and vacant. The logic of the madness is purely complacent. They aren't singing for the kids, they aren't singing for the fame. They're burning down the house just to mention the name of the man in the suit who thought he could tame a trio of vermin in a digital game. Do you like the sound of the tape when it rips? Do you like the way the frequency slips when it goes to the locker, the grit and the gold? Do it exactly what the producer told. Do you like the sound of the tape when it rips? Do you like the way the frequency slips when it goes to the locker, the grit and the gold? Do it exactly what the producer told. Now the studio is burning, the mixing board's red, and the man in the suit is wishing he was dead because the pitch went too high, the frequency broke, and the legacy of pop is a cruel fucking joke. He's climbing up your shoulder, he's whispering low in a voice like a whistle, telling you where to go. He's not a mascot, he's a parasite's dream, and the higher the pitch, the louder the scream. Often. Stop the tape. Shut the fuck up. Sound of the tape when it rips. Do you like the way the frequency slips when it goes to the locker, the grit and the gold? Do it exactly what the producer told. Do you like the sound of the tape when it rips? Do you like the way the frequency slips when it goes to the locker, the grit and the gold? Do it exactly what the producer told. beneath on the leather-bound tome. In a basement of dust in a crumbling home. Not a book of spells or a map to the goal, but a manual of hunger, aggressive and bold. He didn't want toys or a bike for the park. He wanted the kind of fire that glows in the dark. So we read through the rituals, the salt and the wine, and he drew out a circle, a jagged design. He didn't ask for a crush or a girl from the class. He wanted the kind of heat that shatters the glass. Now the boy's grown a man with a hunger to feed, and he's planting the garden, he's sowing the seed. He's got a hammer siren, skin like a sin, where the velvet ends and the chaos begins. They don't want to ring, they don't want to bow, just the weight of his body right here and right now. Sexy and savage, a feverish world, the boy who cheated fate for the perfect kind of girl. They didn't come from a club or a swipe on a screen. They step from the shadows, haunting and lean. One's got eyes like a storm, one's a mouthful of fire, and they all speak the language of absolute desire. It keeps them in luxury, silk on the floor, but they're scratching the wall, screaming out for some more. Cause the pact that he signed in the basement at 10 means he gives them his soul, that he asked them again. It's a heavy kind of magic, a weighted kind of bliss, when the taste of your lipstick is a poisonous kiss. He's dripping in sweat, he's gasping for air, with 3 of them here and a dozen more there. The king of the bedrunner, the lord of the sheep, but the price of the passion is a bitter kind of heat. Yeah, he's got a hair of a siren's, skin like a sin, where the velvet ends and the chaos begins. They don't want to ring, they don't want to bow, just the weight of his body, right here and right now. Sexy and savage, a feverish whirl, the boy who cheated fate for the perfect kind of girl. Now we can't get out of bed. Just one more time. The day for something stop, and you'll break it, but the time, and also cleaving you like a boss, the old bastard croaking. As the boy disappearing, and now we'll forever cloaking. As the boy disappearing, and now we'll forever. The salt's got a taste like a copper coin in the hull of the coffin where the curvings join. Old Silas is stitching a net made of grief with a hand like a root and a timber like a reef. And beside him is Leo, a soft-bellied brat who looks like a thumb in a captain's hat. He's sweating through linen, he's gasping for air while Silas just glares with a dead-eyed stare. Ha! And they're drifting out where the blue turns black, where the ocean takes and they don't get back. Instead of toast in a coat, one's a feast for the gulls, just a pair of fools and some rotting holes, sailing on a prayer for the bottle of gin, waiting for the water to let them both in. Lowe's chewing his thumb, he's a shaking mess, asking when do we land with a whimpering stress. Ella spits tobacco and a boy's white shoe says, the horizon is hungry and it's coming for you. The kid's got a belly like a ripened pear and a terrified look that he can't quite bear, while Silas is humming a tune to the dead with the hook in his palm and a price on his head. Then the storm hit the deck like a fucking sledgehammer. The mast snapped off with a splintering clamor. Leo screamed God and he pissed on the floor while Silas just laughed and he asked for some more. You're a heavy piece of meat, boy, you're dragging the line as the wave broke the bow and the stars ceased to shine. The water came rushing, a cold salty bitch tearing the seams with a violent twitch. Lee grabbed the railing, his fat figure slipping while the spirit of the ocean was greedily gripping. Silas didn't reach out, he just watched him sink with a slow, steady smile and a cynical wink. You always revolved the old bastard croaked as the boy disappeared in a whitewater cloak. Now Silas is rowing in a circle of gray with the ghost of a boy who got in his way. There's a lean old wolf and a memory of fat sailing on a sea where the sharks love a chat. Yeah, the ocean is wide and the silence is deep, and the secrets we sow are the secrets we keep. But Kyle was a joke, just a skin bag of bone. And the garden was salted, the soil was a stone. But my old man's shaking, he's losing the light. So I traded the livestock for a handful of blight. He called me a failure, he called me a waste. But those seeds had a shimmer, a metallic taste. And I planted them deep in the loam and the grit, where the dirt tastes like copper and the lightning hit. And it grew like a fever, it grew like a sin, tearing through the ceiling where the daylight gets in. It ain't a plant, it's a ladder of veins, stuck in the mirror from the summer rains. Climb high, climb hard, till the oxygen thins, where the greed of the god and the slaughter begins. That climb was a fucking nightmare. A vertical crawl through a canopy thick as a cathedral wall. I broke through the cloud layer, hit a floor made of slates, and I smelled something heavy like iron and hate. There was a castle of calcium, a fortress of teeth, with a river of mercury running beneath. And he sat on a throne made of stolen young men, counting his gold in a windowless den. He didn't want a guest, he didn't want a friend. He wanted a meal that the heavens would send. He smelled the salt on my skin, he smelled the fear in my gut. He opened his maw and the heavy door shut. But the giant is lazy, his belly's too full, and his heart is a piston with a rusted out pull. I didn't find a harp, I didn't find a pen. I found a ledger of debts and the screams of 10 men. I slipped through the shadows, I sliced through his throat while he snored like a storm on a sinking boat. I grabbed the gold bags, but I grabbed something more, the secret of how to unlock the sky door. He woke up screaming, a mountain of meat, but I was already sliding, feeling the heat. Slicing the stem, slicing the vein, watch the whole fucking empire reign. Crash it down, break the spine of the tower. The small man is king for a goddamn tower. Cut the cord, cut the fucking cord. Let it fall, let it all fall. Who's next? The wrapping paper's a massacre. Red ribbons in the grit. He's 5 years old and throwing fits. A tiny, screaming fit. He got the cheeks of a cherub with the heart of a landlord, demanding every shiny thing the plastic aisles afford him. He don't want a little train, he don't want a wooden block. He wants the gold-plated version, he wants the ticking clock that counts down to the moment he owns the fucking room. A little sugar-coated tyrant, spelling out our doom. And he wants it all, yeah, he wants the whole damn hoard. From the silver-plated platter to the custom-built board. He's a chubby little monster with a hunger in his eyes, feeding on the chaos while the Christmas spirit dies. Yeah, he wants it all, every scrap and every dime. And he's screaming for the moon in the nick of fucking time. Now the parents are just ghosts, walking hollow through the hall, sucking down the Prozac just to stand up straight and tall. They're buying out the warehouse, they're bleeding out the bank, while he's staring at the ceiling, treating gratitude like blank. He doesn't want a hug, he doesn't want a bedtime story. He wants the brand new console and the cinematic glory. He got a face like a donut, but a grip like a vice. And he'll burn the whole house down if the gift ain't fucking nice. And he wants it all, yeah, he wants the whole damn hoard. From the silver-plated platter to the custom-built board. He's a chubby little monster with a hunger in his eyes, feeding on the chaos while the Christmas spirit dies. Yeah, he wants it all, every scrap and every dime. And he's screaming for the moon in the nick of fucking time. He's sitting on the carpet, surrounded by the loot. A tiny little emperor in a velvet trimmed suit. He looks at the pile, and he looks at the door, and he whispers through his teeth, I fucking want more. Keep the tinsel, keep the fake ass snow. The kid's a little shark. He doesn't want the magic, he doesn't want the light. He just wants to own every single thing in sight. Yeah, give it to him. Give it all to the boy, before he breaks every single fucking toy. He ain't asking for his slice, he want the whole damn bakery. And the cake is just to find a lie and sugar-coated fakery. He's 4'2" and 90 pounds of pure unbridled greed, with a checklist in his chubby fist, planting every seed of a lifestyle he ain't earned, in a house he doesn't pay for, but the credit limit's screaming, and he's knocking at the door. He wants the world in a plastic wrap, rip the ceiling, let it bleed. A little greedy belly and a hunger for the speed. He don't want a balloon, he don't want a card. He wants the deed to the block in a gold-plated yard. Yeah, the birthday boy is coming, and he's taking every cent until the bank account is hollow, but the spirit is spent.
He walked in the toy aisle with the manager and the guy. He said, I don't want the sample, I want every damn supply. He's bagging Lego Star Wars sets, 300 in a heap, while the parents in the lobby just wake up from the sleep. He wants a PlayStation 5 and the DualSense to match, and a Peloton bike just to feel the rhythmic patch. He's sipping prime from a goblet, feeling like a king, while he's demanding that the choir of the neighborhood sings. Meal can't satisfy, avoiding its chest where the corporate desires lie. He looked at his mama, said this list is far too short, then he pointed to the screen, I want a yacht. Yeah, he's a little terror in a velvet suit, a tiny little terror harvesting the fruit. Now he's screaming in the kitchen, where the fuck is my guy Catbro? But my leg's a second, the whole house is gonna blow. He wants the Nike Air Jordan, size 3, custom red. While he's kicking over lamps and he's screaming in your head, he don't care about the budget, he don't care about the cost. In the pursuit of the plastic, the innocence is lost. He's a chubby little monster, a consumerist machine, the filthiest little brat that you've ever fucking seen. Blow out the candles, kid, wish for a soul, but you can't buy that at Walmart. No, you can't buy that at Amazon. My birthday, you little shit. The scale says error, but the vision is clear. I'm the fattest little fucker in the 3rd grade this year. Mama's crying in the kitchen cause the credit card's thin, but I'm a hungry little monster, but it's time to begin. I don't want a pencil, I don't want a slate, I want the shit that makes the other basic bitches hate. Don't tell me wait, don't tell me no. My appetite for luxury is starting to grow. I'm a wide load king in a tiny ass chair, and if I don't get it, I'm pulling out my hair. The shine about the whole damn catalog, line by line. I'm a chubby little menace, a glutton for the gear, the most expensive backpack in the hemisphere. I get it all, every piece, every part. Shopping spree man, I'm goddamn hard. First, light a Nike Air Force One on my meaty little toe. Yeah. White on white, baby, watch the drip flow. Then a Samsung Galaxy Tab S9 for the lap, so I could play Roblox while the teacher talks crap. I need a hydro flask, making the gallon-sized jug to keep my sugar water cold while I give the desk a tug. And don't forget the Tide Pods in the laundry bag, cause when I sweat through my polo, the fabric starts to sag.
Teacher said, be humble. The principal said, please, but I'm demanding goldfish crackers and a bag of Cheez-Its. I'm a walking vacuum, a consumer machine, the greediest little bastard that you've ever seen.
I want the Apple Pencil, the iPad Pro, the JanSport oversized so the luxury could grow. Yeah, put it in the cart, put the Lunchables in the cart too. Everything. I said everything. Now give me your fucking juice box. Check the orbit of the orbit, see the orbit of the kid. He's a walking catastrophe, got up whatever he did. 10 years old, cheeks like boulders, eyes like a shark in a tank. And he's holding daddy's hand like a leash to the vault of the bank. He ain't asking for a Lego set, he ain't asking for a toy. This is predatory consumption by a chubby little boy. He don't want his life, he wants the whole empire. He's got a hunger in his gut that makes the retail managers cry. Yeah, he wants the crown, the throne, and the fucking keys. Bring the home all down, bring the staff to their knees. He wants the gold, the gloss, the glitter and the greed. A bottomless pit of desire, a gluttonous greed. Yeah, he wants it all. Every aisle, every store. Then he'll look at the ceiling and ask for something. Yeah, he wants it all. Every aisle, every store. ask for some more.
Step 1, the Apple Store. He clears out the stock. 5 iPad Pros, 3 MacBooks, TikTok. He don't know how to code. He just likes how the aluminum feels, while the Gen Z employees are shaking in their heels. Then he pivots to the flank. Hits the Nike Vol Hard or Jordan 1s, every size. Swipe the black platinum card. He's sweating through his polo. He's a whirlwind of lard, leaving footprints of chaos in the luxury boulevard. Yeah, he paused at the Chevra, looked the girl in the eye, said, give me every bottle of the Wonder Glow High. He don't care about the scent, he don't care about the skin. He just wants to own the space where the luxury begins. He's a tiny little titan, a terror in a bib. If you try to tell him no, you'll break your fucking rib. He wants the crown, the throne, and the fucking keys. Bring the home all down, bring the staff to their knees. He wants the gold, the gloss, the glitter and the greed. A bottomless pit of desire, a gluttonous breed. Yeah, he wants it all. Every aisle, every store.
Then you look at the ceiling and ask for some more.
He wants it all. Every aisle, every store.
Then you look at the ceiling and ask for some more.
While we're storming through the food core, a hurricane of salt. The Sparrows is empty, it's a culinary fault. He wants the Cinnabon Towers, he wants the Yanti-Yan's twist. A caloric massacre, a feast of the fist. He's got a Louis Vuitton bag stuffed with limited drops, and a hunger for the world that simply never stops. He's not a child, he's a vacuum, a black hole in a tea. And he's staring at the exit like, who the fuck is the key? Yeah, he got the Rolex. He got the Gucci loafers, he got the whole damn mall, now he's bored. Yeah, he paused at the Chevra, looked the girl in the eye, said, give me every bottle of the Wonder Glow High. He don't care about the scent, he don't care about the skin. He got a Louis Vuitton bag stuffed with limited drops, and a hunger for the world that simply never stops. He's not a child, he's a vacuum, a black hole in a tea. And he's staring at the exit like, who the fuck is the key? Yeah, he got the Rolex. He got the Gucci loafers, he got the whole damn mall, now he's bored. Yo! Yeah. He's coming for the street now. The air smells like boiled cabbage and generic brand soap, and the slow motion death on a slippery slope. He's 7 years old, cheeks like soft baked dough, but he's pacing the halls where the pulse starts to slow. He's got a bag of stolen candy and a heart full of spite, watching Grandpa drift out in the middle of the night. Between the beige wallpaper and the linoleum glare, there's a kid in a polo who just can't stand the air. And he's a chubby little shit in a velvet room, waiting for the bells until the afternoon. When he hates the smell of the powder, he hates the plastic chairs. He hates the way the silence climbs the mezzanine stairs. He's a round little riot in a place built for ghosts, toasting to the end with the buttered wheat toast. Yeah, he's too young for the grief, too fat for the grace, in this goddamn sterile waiting room place. He's hiding in the lounge behind the floral print screen while the nurses trade gossip, cold and clinical and lean. He saw a woman in 4B forget how to use a fork, and the silence that followed felt like a sudden electric shock. Pocket full of marbles and a plan to break a vase, anything to wake up these vacant, staring faces. He's tired of the sweetie, tired of the oh, look at you, while he's watching the oxygen tubes turn a pale shade of blue. And he's a chubby little shit in a velvet room, waiting for the bells until the afternoon. Doom, he hates the smell of the powder, he hates the plastic chairs, he hates the way the silence climbs the mezzanine stairs. He's a round little riot in a place built for ghosts, toasting to the end with the buttered wheat toast. Yeah, he's too young for the grief, too fat for the grace, in this goddamn sterile waiting room place. He doesn't want the cookies, he doesn't want the tea. He wants to be anywhere that isn't here, you see, because the walls are closing in, the carpet's stained brown, and the laughter in the lobby is just a slow motion breakdown. He's just a kid, but he smells the rot in the hall, the sound of the medicine carts, the rhythm steady crawl. He found the emergency alarm in the middle of the night, just to see the panic, just to see the flashing light. He's screaming in the chapel, throwing, pointing at the wall, watching the orderly scramble, watching the empire fall. He's a fat little terror with a tear in his eye, because he knows that the retirement is just a fancy word for die. And he's a chubby little shit in a velvet room, waiting for the bells until the afternoon. Doom, he hates the smell of the powder, he hates the plastic chairs, he hates the way the silence climbs the mezzanine stairs. He's a round little riot in a place built for ghosts, toasting to the end with the buttered wheat toast. Yeah, he's too young for the grief, too fat for the grace, in this goddamn sterile waiting room place. Get me out of here, get me out of this fucking place. The pudding is cold, the air is thin, and the ghosts, yeah, the ghosts are just waiting to let him in. purposely nudges. I'd probably teach him how to lie to the cops before they even knew how to tie their fucking shoes. I'd buy him a drum kit just to piss off the neighbors and let him scream until the drywall bruises. I wouldn't be that dad with the schedule of the juice box plans, the one who tracks the GPS and holds the little hand. Nah, I'd let him wander off into the static, find her own way home through the attic of the attic. If I had a kid, I'd be the kind of disaster that makes the therapist's mortgage pay off a little faster. We'd eat cereal for dinner and smoke out in the rain, teaching him how to dance with the ghost of all my pain. Yeah, they'd probably fuck it up. I'd likely burn the house down, but they'd be the coolest little freak in this godforsaken town. I tell him that the tooth fairy is a corporate scam, that the world is just a meat grinder and we're all just ham. I'd give him my old records, the ones that make you bleed, planting seeds of rebellion before they even have a need. We'd swear at the TV, we drink lukewarm beer. I'd tell him, listen kid, the only thing to fear is fear, and if they grew up to hate me and leave me in the dust, at least I know the engine of the spirit had a little rust. If I had a kid, I'd be the kind of disaster that makes the therapist's mortgage pay off a little faster. We'd eat cereal for dinner and smoke out in the rain, teaching them how to dance with the ghost of all my pain. Yeah, I'd probably fuck it up. I'd likely burn the house down, but they'd be the coolest little freak in this godforsaken town. But the house is quiet, the rooms are mostly empty, and the only one screaming is the wind in the vents. I've got a lot of love and nowhere for it to land, just a handful of habits and a shaking hand. Yeah, I'm a walking wreckage, a beautiful mess, and the thought of a legacy god, that's a goddamn stress. So I'll buy a fancy bottle of something that burns and toast to the ghost and the lessons never learned. Maybe it's a blessing that the line ends with me before I can turn a sweet thing into a tragedy. Yeah, probably for the best. Past the gasoline, the match is already lit. I just need the wind to shift. I was a suit in the boardroom, a ghost in a tie, counting seconds of a life that felt like a lie. Then she walked through the asylum with a hammer and a grin, and I felt the lock of my sanity finally give in. She's a chaotic cocktail, a cocktail of sin, a little bit of sugar where the madness begins. She don't want a diamond, she don't want a ring, she wants to watch the whole damn circus swing. In the city screaming, run for your lives while we're dancing in the static, sharpening the knives. I used to play by the rules, played the part, played it thin, but I'm burning the script just to let her walk in. The gas, 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 gas. This resistance triggering back my head. Puff off the inflation. Yeah, I'll be the Joker when I get my Harley Quinn, a beautiful wreckage, a gorgeous kind of sin. We'll paint the town red with the blood of the blind, leave the logic and the reason and the wreckage behind. Call it love, call it madness, call it a fucking crime, but we're laughing at the clock while we're killing the time. I'll be the Joker, just let the punchline in. She's the punchline to a joke that nobody gets, a whirlwind of glitter and high stakes bets. She tore off the apron, she burned down the school, now she's the only goddamn line and I'm her only rule. We're two broken mirrors reflecting the glare of a world that's too boring to even actually care. She whispered, puttin', let's set the whole skyline ablaze, and I realized I've been sleeping for 1,000 great days. Now the sirens are singing a lullaby of dread, and the voices in the alley are screaming, he's dead. But we're laughing in the rain, dripping gold, dripping red, tearing out the pages of everything they said. Gas, 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 gas. This resistance triggering on my head. Puff off the inflation. Yeah, I'll be the Joker when I get my Harley Quinn, a beautiful wreckage, a gorgeous kind of sin. We'll paint the town red with the blood of the blind, leave the logic and the reason and the wreckage behind. Call it love, call it madness, call it a fucking crime, but we're laughing at the clock while we're killing the time. I'll be the Joker, just let the punchline begin. They call it insanity.
joke is on you.
The Lego castle is a crime scene in the hall, and I'm just the idiot who tripped and broke it all. I bought the upgraded set, the one with the gold plating, while he sat on the carpet, eyes cold and calculating. He doesn't want the plastic, he doesn't want the toy. He wants a version of a father that he can actually enjoy. Yet I'm standing here shaking, holding the manual in my hand, trying to build a bridge to a kid who hates the land where I stand.
Swimming in the deep end of a debt I can't repay, buying every shiny thing to keep the screaming far away.
But the void in his chest is a hole the size of my pride, and there ain't enough money for the place he wants to hide. Got us a fucking marathon, running in a circle in the dark, trying to light a fire. The kid who's just a goddamn spark. I'm the gold standard failure, the man who tried to buy the bliss, but you can't buy a smile with a checkbook and a kiss. He told me that he hates the way I laugh when I'm drunk, that my gift for it is just garbage, just a pile of heavy junk. I took him to the coast, bought the tickets, flew the plane. He spent the whole weekend staring blankly at the rain. He doesn't want the trip, he doesn't want the view. He wants a father who isn't the ghost of the man he once knew. When I'm screaming in the car, what the fuck do you actually want? And he just looks at me silent like a haunch and a
Swimming in the deep end of a debt I can't repay, buying every shiny thing to keep the screaming far away.
They get extended team at the punch at the plane. He spent the whole weekend staring blankly at the rain. He doesn't want the trip, he doesn't want the view. He wants a father who isn't the ghost of the man he once knew. When I'm screaming in the car, what the fuck do you actually want? And he just looks at me silent like a haunch.
Maybe it's the genetics, maybe it's the blood. Maybe I'm just pouring concrete into a river of mud. I see him looking in the mirror, seeing the lines around my guys, and I can tell he hates a reflection, the way the similarity lies. He doesn't want the things I have, he wants the things I threw away. The peace and the patience that died on some random Tuesday in May.
And I'm swimming in the deep end of a debt I can't repay, buying every shiny thing to keep the screaming far away. The void in his chest is a hole the size of my pride, and there ain't enough money for the place he wants to hide. Got us a fucking marathon, running in a circle in the dark, trying to light a fire in a kid who's just a goddamn spark.
The gold standard failure, the man who tried to buy the bliss, but you can't buy a smile with a checkbook and a kiss.
He's 10 years old and he looks at me like I'm a ghost. The things we love the most are the things that hurt the most. I'll go buy him another set. Maybe the gold one worked. Maybe the gold one.
Principal's got a voice like a dying fax machine, and a gaze that cuts through the spirit of a 13-year-old beanie, sitting in the plastic chair, looking small and acting numb while I'm staring at the evidence of thumb drive in some gum. He didn't actually hit the kid, he didn't throw a chair, but there's a sudden lack of funding in the gymnasium and there, and I'm scratching my head, wondering where it all went wrong. The school board's in a panic, singing a moral failure song. Got a suspension, a permanent mark, and a look up here to light, but the superintendent's face is turning a ghostly shade of white. Goddamn, the kid's a menace, a little chaos in a tie, and I'm sitting here thinking, I wonder why. See, he didn't just disrupt the class, I forget to do the math. We mapped out the ventilation shaft to create a chemical path. He hacked the PA system, played a loop of screaming ghosts, then leaked the principal's browser history, all the faculty votes. He told the gym teacher that his leggings were conceptually flawed, then tried to sell the choir robe to a local pagan squad.
Now some folks call it behavioral, some call it lack of grit. I call it a masterpiece.
The way the fucker really hit, he didn't break a rule. He just rewrote the entire code, leaving the administration in a state of total implode. He looked me in the eye as we walked to the damn car and said, Dad, the fire alarm was just a catalyst, a start. And I'm scratching my head, wondering where it all went wrong. The school board's in a panic, singing a moral failure song. He's got a suspension, a permanent mark, and a look of pure delight, while the superintendent's face turns to disrupt the class of ghostly shadowy rare. I wonder why. Yeah, look at those genes. The stubbornness mine. The audacity definitely is mother's. The total disregard for the socioeconomic structure of the public education system. It's a family business, baby.
He's grounded for a month straight. No, he's not.
The dinner table's set for 6, but only 4 are breathing. The roast is getting cold and the wallpaper is peeling. Dad's got a sawed-off shotgun and a grudge against the dead. Mom's stitching up a gash in her forehead with a thread. We don't do Sunday brunch, we do perimeter checks. Wait for the ceiling to buckle, wait for the snap of the necks. Pass the salt, pass the silver, pass the holy water to honey. Pass the fucking shotgun, I think the basement's coming through. Check the locks, check the seals, check the pulse in your
screaming in the air, dodging chainsaws in the kitchen, reloading in the hall. A cinematic massacre, we're leaning against the wall.
It's an action-packed horror, a domestic disaster. The body count is climbing and the heartbeat's getting faster. Welcome to the madness, welcome to the show. My life's a fucking movie and the budget's way too low.
Sisters in the attic with a flamethrower and a grudge. Brothers in the cellar, just a feast for the sludge. We don't argue about the laundry or who left the lights on. We argue about the caliber and where the fuck the clip's gone. Dad says hold the line while he's diving through the glass. Mom's doing backflips just to kick some demon ass. It's a goddamn circus, it's a massacre ball. And the credits start rolling every time we take a fall. Shh, did you hear that? The floorboards are screaming. Had a few and it's bleeding. We burned the family tree just to keep the monsters out. But the rot was in the roots, that's what the screaming's about. Slay the father, kill the son. The cycle only starts when the ammunition's gone. Shot to black, roll the credits. Leave the bodies where they lay. Pass me one last drink before the daylight fades to gray.
Who the fuck left the front door open? I'm not the girl who tips on the stairs or the one who wanders off to check the basement air. I've seen the tropes and read the script. I know the dance, and frankly, baby, don't stand a fucking chance. You're hiding in the picture with a rusted label. I'm rewriting every choice that you ever made. You think you're the predator, you think you're the ghost, and then you're just the appetizer. I'm the fucking host. I didn't scream when the lights went black. I just waited for the moment you turned your fucking back. I didn't run to the car with the dead battery spark. I just learned how to see in the goddamn dark. Goddamn dark. Cause if I was in the movie, I wouldn't be the prey. I'd be the twist ending that takes your breath away. I'd burn down the cabin, I'd stop the whole earth. I'd show you exactly what a scream is worth. Yeah, the credits are rolling, the blood's on the floor. But I'm the one locking the goddamn door. You did the math, the heavy breathing, the slow walk pace. But you forgot to check the shadows behind your own face. See, I've been tracking your tracks since the second act. And your perfect killing field is a goddamn fact. I found the cellar, I found the hooks, I found the plastic wrap. You thought you were the hunter, you walked right into the trap. Now you're bleeding out in a scene that's a little too cliche. And I'm the final girl who's gonna make you pay.
Do you hear that?
That's the sound of the hunter becoming the meal. Bring that. That's the sound of fiction becoming something real. No, I'm not the victim, I'm the fucking general. Yeah, if I was in the movie, I wouldn't be the prey. I'd be the twist ending that takes your breath away. I'd burn down the cabin, I'd salt the whole earth. I'd show you exactly what a scream is worth. Yeah, the credits are rolling, the blood's on the floor, and I'm the one locking the goddamn door. If I was in the movie, I would be the prey. I'd be the twist ending that takes your breath away. I'd burn down the cabin, I'd salt the whole earth. I'd show you exactly what a scream is worth. Yeah, credits are rolling, the blood's on the floor, and I'm the one locking the goddamn door. Stuff spoken cold and calm, cut printed. Now get the fuck out of my shot. I'm the glitch in the projector, the smudge on the lens, the guy in the lobby where the mystery ends.
Wait for the climax, why hold your breath?
When I've already beat the script on the death, I've seen the credits roll before the scene hit the floor. I'm the open window, I'm the unlocked door. Spoiler alert, motherfucker, the magic is dead. I've got the whole damn archive swimming in my head. Rip the veil, kill the light, burn the fucking plot, since the ending's always coming, whether you're ready or not. Talk about the classics, the myths, and the lore, the secrets we keep till we can't take no more. In the Sixth Sense, Bruce is a ghost. Deal with it. In the Empire Strikes Back, Daddy's a prick, admit it. Fight clubs, open a slap, you're your own fucking twin. The usual suspects, Kaiser Soze is the win. Psycho Bobby's in the basement, wearing the suit. The Truman Show, the sky is a wall, the whole thing's a lunatic. What's in the box, just a fucking head. Scream, the rules are a joke, and the blonde girl is dead. The tragedy of Titanic is just ice in a song. The Sixth Sense twist is where the heartbeat went wrong. The Matrix, just a plug in a digital vein. Inception, a spinning top, spinning your brain. A prestige mirror, a twin and a lie. The mist, you kill the survivors just to watch the hope die. Saving Private Ryan, he's dead in the dirt. The Godfather family loyalty's where you get hurt. Jurassic Park, the fences fail. The lizards get out, Jaws a boat and a tank. That's what it's about. The silence of the lambs eat the liver with wine. The Shining, the hotel is a goddamn gold mine of crime. Forrest Gump, he's just a dummy who ran a few miles. The Truman Show, wait, I already did that. Fuck the file. Avatar, blue cats in a forest of Ningen. The Avengers, a bunch of egos we can all rely on. The Lion's King, Uncle's a bitch, the kid is the king. Star Wars, the galaxy's just a corporate thing. The Terminator, still bones in a laser sight eye. The Matrix, yeah, we're all just waiting to die.
The hall pass is a forgery, the ink is still wet, and the principal's a fucking joke. A safe bet. We're cutting through the city in a 1961, while the kids in Saturday detention are just barely begun. I've got a map of the suburbs, a plan to fake a flu, and a hunger for the chaos that's overdue. With the ghost of the great book, the stains on the floor, the ones that found the key and kicked down the door. From the library silence to the parade on the street, where the burnout and the brain act finally meet. The bird and the blueprint, we're skipping the test, just a couple of fuckers who refuse to just rest. Cut to the gym floor, the smell of old sweat, 5 strangers in a circle, a social debt. The jock is a shell, the princess is a fake, the brain's just a nerve about to fucking break, and the criminal sketching a map of the void while the social hierarchy gets slowly destroyed. The bedroom mirror, the sick call lie, the white Ferrari, money. The museum stroll, the impressionist gaze class, the dinner table tension, the father's glass crash now, shift the frame, the detention clock ticking, the silence is loud, the don't touch me distance, the lonely crowd, the confession of the pressure, the tears in the gym, they're all the same moment, fuck him and him. So we're crashing the parade with a saxophone scream while the Breakfast Club wakes from a suburban dream. We're stealing the moments that the planners forgot, turning a Saturday morning into a goddamn plot. Ride the Ferris wheel, high till the credits start to roll, and the detention slip burns like a piece of my soul.
The bell rings once, the car speeds off. The 5 of us walk out. One last look back at the lockers.
Stay in school, you fucking idiots.
The ink is still wet on the non-disclosure, and you're talking like I'm just a ghost in the hall. You got the blueprint, the deed, and the closure. You've already decided which way the chips fall. You're moving the furniture while I'm still in the room, sizing up the silence, preparing the tomb of every little thing that I thought we were building. Now it's just a shell, and you're stripping the gilding. So tell me, is there a slot for my voice in the budget? Or am I just a footnote you're waiting to smudge? You've mapped out the exit, you've drawn every line, but you're cutting the cable while I'm still on the line. Tell me, can I have a say in this? Or am I just the witness to my own fucking bliss? Going down the drain, yeah. Can I have a say in this? You've got that look, that it's for the best expression. The one you use when you're staging a coup. A masterclass in a soft-spoken aggression while you're playing God and you're playing it true. But you didn't consult me on the date of the wake, or how many pieces of my heart you take to make room for the version of me that fits in your hand, a polished little pebble in your curated sand. Don't tell me to be reasonable, don't tell me to be still while you're grinding my spirit in your corporate mill. You didn't invite me to the table, you just handed me the bill, told me to swallow the goddamn pill. Well, the table is shaking, the water is red, and I'm tired of hearing what the experts have said.
this in the budget? Or am I just a footnote you're waiting to smudge? You've mapped out the exit, you've drawn every line, but you're cutting the cable while I'm still on the line. Tell me, can I have a say in this? Or am I just a witness to my own fucking bliss? Going down the drain, yeah. Can I have a say in this?
Actually, keep the blueprints, burn the map. I'm not asking for a seat at the table anymore. I'm just here to knock the whole fucking thing over.